I invested in what I would call, at that time, one of the biggest selling keyboards that ever came out, and that was the Yamaha DX7. Okay, there's a lot of songs that are out there from the 80s that you'll hear some of the bass sounds that we all felt sounded like a real bass until we hear the sounds of today. Whoa! But adding a Juno 106, a Yamaha DX7, and an acoustic piano, putting all those together, those are the very exact 3 instruments that I used to create this. Listen to the string sounds. Ay, how cheap. Okay? So sana maulit muli. Even now, after hearing everything about what you heard this morning and about the technology, some of you are like, parang di ko yata kailangan to ah. Or where do I go from here? Or, okay, I have this idea, but, or, okay, kasi ganito eh, ito yung gusto kong klaseng tunog eh. Lalo na ito, I'm a songwriter. I'm not a techie. And of course, there's, naku, but parang nawawala yata ako sa technology. I believe, as songwriters, you should not just limit yourselves to the people here. Okay? If music is a universal language, then that means your songs will and can be and probably would reach the status of being worthy to be played anywhere else in the world. So please, if there's one thing I want you to take, another thing I want you to take tonight is that do not limit yourself. Kahit Tagalog ang lyrics ninyo, it speaks. And when it speaks correctly, it will break barriers, regardless of who may be hearing it. A guy from Timbuktu could hear it, and he'll fall in love with it. Please, don't be afraid to collaborate. Do not be intimidated, ever, by those who truly may know more than you with regard to the use of music technology. I want to share with you something that's not part of what I was supposed to say, but I suffered this for Daiichi, the rock album. I did a rock album. Yes, rockers. I'm talking... I hate dates and I hate deadlines. I mean, yung boses na, when I was just a boy. Yung ganon. And it was 7/8 pa yung tugtug. It was crazy. I could do it. And the engineer said, man, you sound good. But they knew that that was not my style. That wasn't my style of music. And I never said anything. I kept quiet. I had an inferior complex, an inferiority complex where I felt everybody knew better than me. And I was intimidated by the fact that they knew so much. Everything that was given to me was the top of the line. You know, and I just kind of backed off. Please don't make the same mistake. Don't. Now, just as there are pluses, there are also minuses, or there are cons with regard to the use of technology. Sometimes it can make you, or it can lead into compromises. Kanina, binanggit yung pwede na yan attitude. Technology can get you into that. It's not supposed to be pwede na yan. It's supposed to be yun na yun, mismo. Let's translate that into English. It can make you settle rather than be sold to the work that's being done. Songwriters, don't ever fall into this trap. Don't. Only you know exactly how that song is supposed to feel. Don't settle for anything less. Sometimes the overuse of technology can deaden a song. It can actually take the soul out of the song because of too much technology going on in the background. Here's another one. It can make you spend more time figuring things out rather than creating things that are meant to come out. Paano kaya to? Oh, hindi, ano kaya to? And then the creativity is gone. Well, here's one disadvantage. One can get too keen on hitting the notes with accuracy rather than expressing the notes effectively. Yung tipong, hit it like this, pero andyan na yung feel. Umiiyak na yung singer, pero kailangan tamaan mo talaga eh. Or, sometimes, we can get too dependent on the performance of the technology rather than the performance or expression of the performer. Why would anyone want to do that? But it happens. It really does. Which brings me to my next point. There are controversies going on right now, even in the local scene, because of certain ways of technology that are being used. That actually, one of the comments that I heard was, some say it doesn't bring out the best in an artist because it manicures the artist too much. What am I talking about? That's right. These two products right here. This is Antares Auto-Tune and Melodyne. What are these? These are not software instruments. They're effects that are used to pitch correct. Pitch correct. Now, some of you might be going, ay, salamat, I'm not really a singer, now I can sing in tune. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the one I use, because I have to admit, I do use it at times. But I use it sparingly and only when it is necessary. This naman is Melodyne. You see those red glitches? That's the voice. The column on the very far left is the actual note that your voice is supposed to hit. The gray portion at the back is where your note is supposed to be. You want to fix that up? Easy. Just put the mouse there, click it, and drag it into the gray part, and now you're in tune. And it doesn't sound like, ay, inayos. No. It sounds like you're actually in tune. You can do it with all. You can keep doing this throughout the tracks. But the problem is that many times, too much of this procedure is applied. Not just to parts wherein the singer or the instrument goes out of tune, but it's used throughout the entire track. If that's not the effect you want to create, then this is the controversy that comes out. Auto-tune blinds us from the truth. Now, I'll tell you one thing, okay? It's really scary to see what technology can do today because honestly, it can meet pitch correcting software can even make this guy sound really galing. But the problem is, it's an effect. And I have to admit and confess to you that in my earlier years, I was a sucker for effects. I would spend time in creating one snare sound that originally sounded like pop, and I wanted it to sound yung talagang dapat kumakagat, dapat and I did it once. The problem is, it was on the wrong song. It was an X mark in my life. And of all songs, can you guess what song it is? Come on. Can you guess? No? Okay, it's gonna shock you. It's Take Me Out of the Dark. Let me show you the example of what I mean. Listen to the snare drum in this song, because it sounded like this. Heartfelt. Perfect, di ba? Ito na yung drums. Mali. 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 Oh, just one after the other. One mistake after the next. And now when I hear it, kaya iniba ko yung areglo, I made it more orchestral. Thank you. I like that. Songwriters, with regard to technology, don't apply technology just for the sake of. Okay? You might have a song that sounds better. The more raw it is, the better. Hindi, kailangan lagyan natin yung effect yung boses. Listen, if it's good the way it is, don't touch it much. Don't lose the feel. Don't sacrifice the feel for the technology. Don't be afraid to learn by collaborating with people. Find out what will work for you in your own spare time. Go to some sessions where you have people who are into it and let them know that this is what you want to do. Another thing is, if you find something, make sure is what you want really what you need for the song. And lastly, learn to use it wisely. With technology, it can certainly broaden your mind. And if used properly, it can certainly broaden your horizons too.